Everybody, good morning. Happy coffee talk. It just started snowing, which I kind of don't want snow because I don't want mess, but snow is gorgeous and it's beautiful outside. And I'm just like looking out the window and I'm like, yes, snow. My coffee this morning's in my Tree Star mug. This is probably like my fourth cup of coffee, to be honest, but I never really finish my coffee. I always just drink it until there's like half left and then I throw the rest into the sink and then I get a fresh cup. It is coffee privilege, I guess. I don't know, but that sounds dumb. But let's jump into coffee talk message. But before I do that, I've got something really cool that's coming up. So I promised you that every single month we would be doing a free game or challenge or program in the Fit Me Community Facebook group. And we have a new one. And I told you last week I was going to tell you about it. So let me tell you real quick and then we're going to dive into our message. So first off, nutrition. It is the bugaboo. Everybody wants to pretend like it's the exercise part that they need to focus on if they want to see weight loss, if they want to see their body change, if they want to feel better. But nutrition is like the vast majority of the equation. And so we put together a 10-day game. It's called Nutrition Boot Camp. And so there are some boot camp components. So there's like some fun physical exercise, totally doable. But then each day there's going to be a nutrition piece. So you're going to learn something really cool about nutrition and you're going to have an action step to do in your life. And then there is a tracker and it's a really simple and straightforward 10 days of boot camp. We're going to give prizes. It's really fun. It's completely free. And so I'll put the link in the show notes and the link in the comments and be sure to sign up because it's all going to be tools that you can use to clean up your nutrition plus a fun game that's going to have you take action because it's all great if you learn the stuff. If you don't do anything with it, then who cares, right? So the game actually has you do something with the things that you're going to learn. So it's going to be really fun. So sign up for Nutrition Bootcamp, share it with your friends, completely free, totally for you, to help you with the nutrition piece, which I know is the hardest. So let's dive into coffee talk today. So I just spent 20 minutes unfollowing people on Instagram. Unfollowing. Not because I don't like those people, but just because I needed to edit. And I thought maybe we could talk about this because you only have capacity to give a certain amount of Fs, right? Like we'll keep it PG, but you truly only have capacity to care about so many things. And so one of the problems that we face in our like modern day busyness is the demand for our attention. Now, everywhere we go, someone's got a demand for our attention. They want to put us on their email list. They want to send us whatever. They want us to follow them. They want us to subscribe. They want all those things. And so you have all of this stuff demanding your attention. Then you go to school and they're sending you emails. They want you to be on this list. They want you to be doing that. Then you've got work stuff. They're blasting you 75 different million things every day. Then you got family juggles. You got to stay on top of your bills. You got to do all of this stuff. Then you got to take care of your body. You're supposed to be going to the gym and eating well and exercising. So you're trying to figure that out and everything. And then you actually have the people in your life that demand your attention, that need you or that want to have a relationship with you or who want to talk to you. And so then you've got that demands on your attention. And so everywhere we look, there are demands on our attention. And one of the big things that we teach in Fit Me is boundaries, because with boundaries comes editing. With boundaries comes editing because first you edit the things that do not get your attention. Again, it does not mean they are bad. It doesn't mean they're crappy. You don't have to dislike them. You don't have to have any negative feels at all. But you can simply say, these things are not going to get my attention right now. So how do you pick? How do you pick what things get your attention, right? You're like, okay, great, Christy, thanks. I'm going to edit the things that don't get my attention, but which ones? The only way that you can know that is if you actually know what's important to you. And I would call those priorities. But if you take one step further back, you actually need to know your values, the things that align most with your core, the things that make you feel fulfilled, the things that when they are violated make you really upset and pissed off, the things that you would choose to prioritize in your life are your values. Now you can't have 17 values. That's the same in priorities. They're not actually priorities then. It's just a list of things. Same thing with values. You can't just have 17 values. It's just a list of things. You really probably only have 3 or 4 that are your core values. And so when we take the things that are demanding our attention and we sanity check them and say, are these aligned with my values? Am I actually giving my attention to the things that matter most to me? If the answer is no, well, then you have the answer of what to edit. Because when we are out of alignment with our value systems, that tends to be when we feel unhappy, disconnected, unfulfilled, frustrated, cynical. All of those things we can blame on like external forces, but in reality, sometimes it's just that we have chosen to allow things to come into our universe and take our time, our attention, our energy that are out of alignment with our values. So here's an example. What if one of your core values is family and spending quality time with your family? It doesn't mean you spend every day, all day with them, but maybe one of your core values is quality time with your family. And you have allowed extra projects to be put on your plate at work. And so now, and these were sort of optional. They were like, hey, can you take this on? And you're like, yeah, I can do it because you're the problem solver of all the things. So they give you those things and now you're problem solving those projects, but now you're staying late and you're missing the kids' sports games and it feels bad. And you're pissed at work. You're mad at them. Why did they give you this? Like, why isn't so-and-so doing this? Like, why did I get stuck with this project? Why is it always me? But if we look at what's really happening, all those kind of grumpy, angry feelings about it are as a result of the fact that we allowed, again, we have to take ownership over this. We allowed something to demand our time, energy, and attention that was out of alignment with our core value. So your core value being your family time, you allowed that extra project to come in and now it violated something that is very important to you. So it feels bad. That's why it feels bad, because it's not in alignment with what you want. Maybe one of your core values is like personal growth. You feel like if you are always growing, then you're happy, you're excited, it motivates you. And so that is one of your core values. And again, let's use work as an example. Maybe you have been stuck in the same job, doing the same thing for a long time. And even though the pay's increased, you're bored. You don't like it. And you can't figure out why. Because it's a good job, you should be happy with it. But when you sanity check, and it takes your time, right? It's an 8 to 4 or 9 to 5 or whatever. So it takes every day a lot of your time, energy, and attention. But it's out of alignment with your core values because you're stagnant and you're not actually growing as a person, and that's important to you. And so even though the job pays really well, even though it's pleasant, it's not fulfilling to you. Why? Because it's out of alignment with your core values, because one of your core values is personal growth. So do you see what I'm saying? Like, we do need to edit. We need to say, like, these things don't get my time, energy, and attention, but we can't edit unless we actually know what's important to us and what our core values are and what we care about. What do we want to prioritize? Because like if we circle back to nutrition, right? Like eating better or exercising, moving your body more, taking better care of yourself, like reaching your body goals. Maybe you've been wanting to be at a healthy body weight for years and you've just not gotten there and it's going in the wrong direction. But one of your biggest challenges is time, which is a huge challenge for a lot of people. Well, then alert, like this message is for you. You have a set amount of time. I have the same amount of time. Somebody else has the same amount of time, but somehow yours is being spent on things that are not important to you. Because if getting to that healthy body weight and feeling like your best self is a priority, you're saying like me feeling good in my skin and thriving in my life is one of my core values. I want to be able to show up as my best self. It's very important to me. But then you are not prioritizing your time accordingly. That's why it feels bad. That's why you're beating yourself up about it. That's why you're frustrated. It's not because you're a failure, because you can't do it. It's because you're truly allowing your time to be sucked into things that are not a priority, you don't think about it all day long. You think about your body all day long, potentially. All day long, you're like, why do I feel like this? Why does my clothes fit like this? Why am I eating this? Why shouldn't I do that? That shadow is following me around. I should be going to the gym and you think about it all the time because it's a priority to you in your mind, in your value system, you care about how you feel, but it's not a priority in your practical life. In your day-to-day, everything else that you have allowed to demand your time and attention is a priority instead. And so when we give ourselves this sort of like tough love conversation, then you can edit, because it's hard to say no, especially if you're a people pleaser. If you like to help out and you like to kind of stretch and do all the things and juggle, well, it's hard to say no. But if you are super crystal clear about what's important to you and what it costs you when you don't act accordingly, right? What is it costing you day to day to not feel good in your skin? Let's get real. It's not just like, oh, I haven't achieved my goals, but it's costing you something. What is it costing you? Is it costing you fun activities? Is it costing you happy time with people that you want to spend, your days with? Is it costing you confidence? Are you not doing things that you would do because of the way that you feel in your skin? So you're not living life the way you want. It's costing you something to allow everything else to demand your time and attention. And again, some of that is sort of like, well, it kind of feels like a necessity, but no, we actually can set those boundaries, even with work, even with family, even with friends. We can set those boundaries and enforce them, especially when they're in line with our priorities. But also sometimes we're just kind of like negligent with our time. We spend way too much time scrolling. We spend way too much time worrying about stuff we don't need to worry about. We spend way too much time watching stupid crap on Netflix, and we allow that time suck to make us feel even more stretched, because supposedly that's your downtime to decompress. The problem is that in your uptime, you're not doing anything that's actually in line with your priorities. Instead, you're just being pulled and stretched in every single direction. And so your downtime's not recharging you. Your downtime is just checking out. Like, let's be real. Are you recharged after watching 3 hours of Netflix, or you just needed the checkout because the rest of the day didn't feel that great? I know today it's tough love. I don't know. I woke up and maybe I drank too much coffee, but hear me. When I was doing this Instagram edit, it wasn't because I don't like these people. It was because I only have a certain amount of F's to give. And so 10,000 people cannot have my attention. I need to focus on the people that need it, the people that I really want to work with, the people that I really want to serve, the people that are benefiting from the content that I put out, the people that I want to see their stuff, and it brings me positivity, it brings me encouragement, I don't want to just see to see, because it's not bad. It's taking my time and attention away from where it needs to be. And so this was just like a really small example of being intentional about what you allow to come into your head and take up your time, energy, and attention. And so I want to encourage you to do 3 things today. Okay, so thing number 1 is I want you to think about what are your core values. What's important to you? What makes you feel fulfilled? Another way to think about it is what makes you pissed? Like when something happens and you get really fired up, that's usually like a signal that something violated one of your core values. Like maybe somebody lied to you and you are pissed. Well, maybe one of your core values is trust. And so you didn't realize that at the time, but that was like, you're like, I could handle all these other things, but this one matters to me. That's like core value stuff. So think about, what are your core values? Is it family? Is it trust? Is it integrity? Is it, physical fitness? Is it, what is it? Personal growth? Is it patriotism? What is it? What are your core values? You probably need 3 or 4. What's the most important to you? When things are in alignment with it, what makes you feel fulfilled? Like you're living life the way you want to live it. And then I want you to consider how you're spending your time throughout your day and what can you edit? Because if your time, energy, and attention is not in alignment with your core values, you are going to feel off. It's not going to feel good. And so look at your day, consider how you're spending your time, energy, and attention, and then edit. Edit knowing that those things aren't bad, that you don't have to hate them, that you're not saying like, screw you, but that you are being very intentional about what you are allowing into your head so that you can focus on what really matters to you. And then all of a sudden, you're going to see that your time opens up. And then it becomes easier to say no. And then all of a sudden, things start to feel better. And so I know this is kind of like a backwards way to get to like, how do I eat better? How do I move more? How do I exercise? How do I be consistent? How do I take care of myself? But this one is at the core. This is really important. So I challenge you to do my little action steps from today and to consider these questions that I've asked. And if you want to talk about it, shoot me a message on Instagram. I want you guys to follow me at Christy May Campbell. I would love to connect with you. Again, like, it matters to me that you listen. It really, really matters. Thank you for spending time listening to Coffee Talk. I love our conversations that come off of this. If there's an episode topic you want me to hit, shoot me a message on Instagram and let me know. I will definitely hit it. I want to hear what is helpful for you. So reach out and let me know. And if you like this episode, do me a huge favor. Screen capture it, tag it, and share me. Tag it and share me. Share it and tag me. I don't have any sponsors or anything for this podcast yet, maybe one day, but until then, the only way that people find out about it is if you share it with them. And so that means a ton to me. It helps me touch more people, give people more information that's helpful for them, and I really, really appreciate it. So don't forget to sign up for Nutrition Boot Camp. Link is in the bio and in the show notes. If you haven't done so, subscribe to Fit Me Coffee Talk on your favorite podcast platform. And if you are not a part of our Facebook group yet, come on over to Facebook and search Fit Me Community. Request to join the group. I will add you there. And again, we're doing Nutrition Boot Camp in the month of February. I would love for you to be a part of it. It's totally for free. It's going to be awesome. And I will see you there. Take care. Bye.